I'm already sleepy. TV and reading. Obviously I'm reading. This is the Readathon. Duh. I am a napper. I love a nap. It's like crack that makes you cry. I don't know. So we're about 4 hours into the challenge, 20 left to go, and I've yawned about 15,000 times. Okay, Taylor, thank you. Hey, bookworms, welcome in. It is like 7:55 in the morning. I literally just climbed out of bed. But today I'm going to be doing my very first 24-hour readathon. I meant to get out of bed earlier, but one thing about me is I never want to get out of bed. So I'm going to film this clip ugly. And then I'm going to go listen to my audiobook and take a shower and get ready for the day and all those things, and we'll see you later. I do have a Red Bull to wake me up. Red Bull's my favorite, not sponsored, obviously, because I'm brand new. Anywho, let's get to it. I have no clue what I'm going to read today. I just started The Poisoned King by Catherine Rundle, so I'm going to finish that, and then after that, no clue, no plans. We'll figure that out later. All right, it's a little after 9. I started reading at 8. My plan was to read from 8 a.m. today to 8 a.m. tomorrow because I go back to working night shift tomorrow night, so I'll just finish the readathon around 8 and then go to bed. So anywho, I've been reading for about an hour. I've read 68 pages. Like I said, I'm reading The Poisoned King. Started reading it yesterday. It is, you probably can't see that, 9:09. We're just chilling, vibing. Red Bull is about halfway gone. It is 10:40. Sandor and I are reading. I was trying to record and he jumped up in my lap, so this is not the best angle or camera work, so bear with us. I am on page 209 of The Poisoned King. I'm really liking it so far. I just realized I haven't told you what this book is even about. I'm like a terrible vlogger. So it's book 2 of Impossible Creatures, and basically this tiny little dragon, if you've read the first book, you know who he is. I'll try not to spoil it. This tiny little dragon, Jacques, came and got Christopher, who's the Guardian's grandson, the Guardian of the Archipelago, and he's like, hey, the dragons need you, they're poisoned. But dragons aren't supposed to be able to be poisoned. So Christopher goes, and they're like, hey, by the way, we gotta save this girl on the way. So the Sphinx that's flying them takes them to this girl, Anya, whose grandfather was murdered, and they're trying to find the culprit, but her father was framed. And then you figure out pretty quickly who did it and why. They go to the dragons to try to find answers. Well, the dragons are dead, except for one. Find out what the poison is and all this other stuff, and they go to Nightshade and Irian, is that how you say your name? I don't know. They go to where they are and brainstorm and try to figure out an antidote for the poison. And a manticore was sent to kill Anya, and they're fighting right now, so that's where I'm at. I've only got 80 pages left. The second book is kind of short, so probably finish it in the next hour or so. I know this book is YA, but I do really like Catherine Rundle's writing. Some of it's very beautiful, and then it's super funny. There's one quote where they're in the library. They found this ancient library, and there's this librarian who's a weird being. And she insulted the little dragon Jacques, and he's very feisty. And he says, I could still wreak havoc in here, you know. And she says, anyone who tries to wreak havoc in my library will have their liver plucked out. The same applies to anyone who folds the pages over or writes in books. Same. And then there's a more serious quote later on in the book where Anya says, what do you do in the face of evil men? In the face of evil men, protected by strong men, served by weak men. Well, if that ain't fucking applicable to present day. So I just finished. Oh, I'm already sleepy. It is noon. I just finished The Poison King. I think I'm gonna give it like 4 stars. It was super cute. I just really liked the writing, really liked the ending. So, cute little YA book. For my next book, I think I'm gonna go with The Goal by Elle Kennedy. This is the 4th book in that series. I bought this series forever ago when I first got into booktube and bookstagram and saw that these were super popular, and I just started reading them like a year or 2 ago, but I read like 1 or 2 a year. But I guess I'll read this, try to make my way through the series a little bit. So we're about 4 hours into the challenge, 20 left to go, and I've yawned about 15,000 times. Okay, I'm only 4 pages in, and what the fuck did I just read? It is 1:18. I am tandem reading The Goal with audio and the physical copy. I like it so far. I mean, it's okay. I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say. Nothing has really happened other than them sleeping together twice already, but I am dying for a nap though. I am a napper. I love a nap. Something about the 12 o'clock hour makes me want to shut down every day. Like my brain's like, whoop, time for a nap. So I'm like struggle busing over here, but still awake. It's 3:53. I'm about 52% of the way through. I'm on like page 185. I did fall asleep earlier while I was listening to my audiobook. My eyes just kind of closed. Then I woke up and I went outside for a little bit and it was hot. So, came back inside, continued to read. Even though I'm about halfway through this book, like it's good, but I'm like kind of bored. I don't know. It's probably my least favorite out of the series so far. I did crack open my second Red Bull though, so hopefully the rest of the night goes better. I don't know why, just in the afternoons I always want a nap, but I'm typically a night owl, so hopefully it's better from here on out. It is 5:52 and I just finished book number 2, The Goal by Elle Kennedy. It was cute. I don't know, I'll probably go with like 3.5, 4 stars. Let me think on it for a little bit, but it was cute. I liked the characters, I liked the ending. It was like insta-love smut, kind of. Well, not insta-love, but insta-like smut. So I was like, meh for the first half, and then they actually like got all sweet and stuff. And there were some funny moments, so book number 2 done. I think next I'm going to read The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clark. It's a new release, and I love V.E. Schwab. I'm a terrible human being. I can't remember the other author that co-wrote it with her, but I'll figure it out. I'm going to read that, and we are watching 24-hour readathons on YouTube for the background noise. I always have to have background noise. I'm weird, but Kendall Watson is my favorite YouTuber, so I've got her in the background, and we're going strong. For my Beveragino, I've got Dr. Pepper. Let me know in the comments below if you like background noise or like ambiance videos, or if you have to read in complete silence, because I think it's so interesting how different people are. I always have to have background noise. I usually have a TV show on low, like a comfort show, and it's always on like really low volume, but I can't read in complete silence. It's weird. Okay, so I figured it out. It is V.E. Schwab and Kat Clark who co-wrote this, and they went with the name Evelyn Clark. I don't even know what it's about. It says 6 authors, 1 private island, 72 hours to write the ending that will change their lives. Arthur Fletch, one of the world's best-selling novelists, is a reclusive genius known for his iconic protagonists and fiendish twists. When 6 struggling authors are invited to spend a weekend on his private Scottish island, they arrive to discover a shocking event. Arthur Fletch is dead, and his last book is unfinished. Desperate to publish the novel, Fletch's agent and editor have summoned these writers in the hope that one of them will imagine a worthy ending for this final book. To sweeten the deal, they are offering an irresistible prize. In addition to the honor of ghostwriting the final chapters for a mind-boggling sum, Fletch's team will also help the lucky writers successfully relaunch their own career, guaranteeing future bestsellers. The catch? The writers have just 72 hours to finish Fletch's magnum opus. It's the perfect plot. All it needs is a killer ending. Does anyone else's dog have a book-licking obsession? He's so drooly, and for some reason, he just loves to lick books. I'll have a book sitting here, and he just will come up and lick it for no reason. I've got so many books that have like one weird wrinkled page because he's just come up and licked it. Okay, I have nothing nice around here. It is 7:25 p.m. So we're almost 12 hours in. So exciting. I just had supper and I just got basically the meat of the story of The Ending Writes Itself. So I know I read you the synopsis, but basically this author died and his agent and editor have sent emails to like all of these writers that are kind of like mid. Like none of them are famous, but none of them are like poor. They're like meh, you know, haven't got a ton of publicity. So they think they're meeting this author, but they find out that he's dead, and then they're offered a lot of money and everything that goes along with a publishing deal, like a new agent, a new publisher, $1 million to fund a new book and things like that, if they'll write 10,000 words and finish Arthur's last book, but no one can know that they wrote it. And then they're all have to give up all their electronics and are squirreled away into separate rooms and given 3 days to finish the book. So it's really interesting so far. All the writers do different genres, like there's a romance author there, a YA author, a sci-fi author. There's a couple crime thriller writers there. It's kind of funny because when they all meet, there's a couple of them that like assume they're better than the rest of them just because their genre that they write, and then it kind of like puts you in the head of each one, so you can kind of see the point of views, and some of them are like trying to play it cool, and some of them are super smug, and it's just like fun so far. So I'm excited to see how it goes. Hello, it is 10:06 p.m. Sandor and I are just watching some TV and reading. Obviously, I'm reading. This is the Readathon. Duh. Okay, I am still on The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clark, aka V.E. Schwab and Cat Clark. Right? Yes, Cat Clark. I'll remember that one of these days, I swear. I am on page 164. Technically it's chapter 1 because this book is like separated into parts, and the first part there's like no chapters, and then the second goes up to like chapter 5 or 6, and then I'm on the next part so it starts over. But anyways, I just got to a really good part, and then it started over in the next chapter, and I'm like, what the fuck, go back, you know, because it's changing the point of view, and I'm like, I'm really liking it so far. I'm not typically a thriller reader. Like, for me to enjoy a thriller, it has to be like edge of your seat, very good. Otherwise, I'm just like, you know, I don't really enjoy them a whole lot. Typically, if I read a thriller, it's either going to be a 5-star or like a 2-star. I don't like it, you know, like, I don't know why. Thriller movies are really good for me, but books, I'm like, I don't know. But I'm really liking this one. I've been hooked since the beginning, and I've been like cleaning and stuff and listening to the audiobook to stay like awake and moving. But I'm like half paying attention to what I'm doing and just like on the edge of my seat, you know, figuratively. Anyhow, I'm really liking it. It's really good. I'm like a little over halfway through, barely. I think it's gonna take me a couple more hours to finish this. I'm hoping to finish it by like the midnight mark, which is in 2 hours. I have, let's see, it's 10 o'clock, it's 10:08 p.m. I have about 10 hours left of the challenge. I did mention earlier that I did fall asleep while reading the goal. I was like cold, so I had a blanket on. I was like snuggling into the couch, and Sandor was snuggling, looking cute, and I did fall asleep. I think I slept for like maybe an hour, if that. But anywho, I'm feeling great since then. It's 12:07, and me and Bo are just chilling. He's so sweet when he snuggles. Other than when he snuggles, he's kind of an asshole, but when he snuggles, he's cute. I'm on page 259. There are 338 pages in this book. I'm getting closer. They just took a character that I thought was an asshole and made me like care about him. How rude. There's been some crazy stuff happening since I last updated you. And I cannot guess the end. Like, I have a suspicion, but I don't think it's right. Watch it be right. Normally with thrillers, I'm like 2 seconds in and I'm like, I already know the ending. And then I hate it because I've called it so early, but I have no clue what is gonna happen. So that's exciting. This book really has me on my toes and I love it. We're starting to like suss out all the characters and things, and like we've been like learning backstories about them, and I'm excited to see what happens. It is 1:51 in the morning, and I just finished The Ending Writes Itself. Okay. What I was saying I thought was gonna happen earlier, not even close. Not even close. I did not see any of this coming. It really got me. However, I will say the ending was kind of anticlimactic. Like, If they would have ended it where I thought they were going to end it, I was going to be like, holy shit, oh my god, you know? But then they kind of went back and they were like, here's kind of some stuff that happened afterwards, like in more detail. And I was like, oh, you know, I don't know. Like, I did like the ending. It was just a bit anticlimactic where they left off. Because they had like all this crazy shit happen. And then like the ending. And then they like went back and had another little bit. But at that point, like all the shock factor wore off. And then so I was like, oh, you know, I don't know. There was just too much at the end. But also I liked the end. I don't know, does this make sense? Probably not, it's 2 a.m, but I don't know, I liked it. Rating wise, I thought I was gonna rate it a 5, which is a pretty big deal for a thriller. But I don't know, maybe like a 4.75, I don't know. It's up there, it was good. I think now I'm going to go take off my makeup, which is the only thing making me look presentable, but I feel like my face needs it. I'm gonna get like a breakout or something from wearing this makeup this long. I feel like I might go wash my face and maybe do like skincare or like a face mask or something and decide my next read. I've got about 6 hours left in this 24-hour readathon. I have no clue what I want to read next. I really don't. It's 3:20 in the morning and this is fucking stupid. I'm on page 95. And this book is making me cry and I do not cry. Like, what the fuck? Okay, Taylor, thank you. This is so stupid. Feelings are stupid. Between these little eye masks and my tears, I think I'm very well hydrated now. Like, my cheeks are moisturized. Everything's great. It is 4:17 in the morning, and I am on page 174 of One True Loves. I'm not even using my tripod anymore. I'm so distraught. I have been crying this entire book. I don't know what is in this book, but it's like crack that makes you cry. I don't know. So, that's my update. Girl, calm down. Izzy's mad. Anywho, so that's where we're at. I'm sobbing uncontrollably. I'm having a great time. Less than 4 hours to go, and I think I'll finish this book before then and have like an hour left. What am I gonna do for an hour? It is 6:11 in the morning, and I just finished One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. 5 stars, cried throughout the majority of the book, made me super emotional. Thank God that she picked the one that I wanted her to pick in the end, otherwise I would have been emotionally devastated more than I already was. I just realized I never told y'all what this book was about. It's a really popular book, so I'm assuming you already know, but if you don't, it's about this woman, Emma, who she was married and then her husband died in an accident, in a plane crash, and after a few years she rebuilds her life and falls in love again and gets engaged, and then all of a sudden she gets a phone call from her husband who she thought was dead. He's alive. And that's not spoiling anything because it's all within the first couple of pages of the book you find all that out. But anywho, very emotional. I cried a lot. And I have only ever cried at a handful of books, and I've read hundreds of books, so that says a lot. So thank you, TJ Reid, for emotionally scarring me. Appreciate that. I have less than 2 hours left of this challenge. As you can see, the sun has come up and I want to go to bed and I don't want to read anymore, but I'm gonna keep reading because I made a challenge and I already took an hour nap, so I already cheated a little bit. We're gonna finish it, but I don't know what I want to read next, so we'll see. It is 6:23 in the morning. We're on the home stretch. I got about an hour and a half left of this 24-hour readathon. I have decided that I'm going to read Boyfriend Goals by Riley Hart. I've had this on my TBR forever and a day. Riley Hart is usually a hit or miss for me, so we'll see if I like it. I've really loved some of her books and I've not really cared so much for her books, so we'll see. From the synopsis on the back, it sounds like this story is about Milo and Gideon, and Milo inherits a bookstore with an apartment over it, but Gideon rents the shop next to it that he has a tattoo shop in, and he's renting the apartment above the bookstore, and so they end up kind of being like roommates. So it sounds like roommates to lovers vibe. This is 350 pages. I'm definitely not gonna finish this in this challenge. I'd like to read a good chunk because I work the next 4 nights and then I'll have 1 day left of the month to read, and I have a weird brain and I like to finish all the books that I'm reading before the new month starts. We're in the home stretch. Let's go. So sorry for the terrible video quality and lighting. I am in bed. It is 8:08 in the morning, if you can see that. I got to page 152 of Boyfriend Goals by Riley Hart. Not really loving it. The writing style is just something about it just off. I'm not quite halfway. But as you can see, I'm in bed because I am ready to go to sleep. So I'll talk to you a little bit more about all my reads and everything later. Good night. Okay, so I am filming this clip several days later. You just finished my 24-hour readathon. As you can see from that last clip, I finished it in bed and then promptly went to sleep. I slept all day that day, went to work, and then worked 4 12-hour shifts back to back. So I literally just got off work for my 4th shift, took a shower, got ready, and turned the camera on. So let's wrap it up, shall we? So this was my very first 24-hour readathon I've ever done, YouTube or otherwise, and I've got my handy dandy stats here. So I finished The Poisoned King, which I was only 100 pages into when I started. And then I started and finished The Goal, The Ending Writes Itself, One True Loves, and then I started and got 152 pages into Boyfriend Goals. So total, I read 1,399 pages in 24 hours, which is insane to me. Technically, I finished 4.5 books, if you want to be specific. And this is my book stack. It's a lot to read in 24 hours. That's insane. I should do these more often because I feel like some months I don't even read very much more than this, so. But thanks so much for watching and hanging out with me. I had a fun time. I'll probably do those more often. And in the meantime, I'm sending forehead kisses and good reading vibes. Bye.